the thunder! This better be good.
This works. Okay, perfect. Guys, we did it. We did it. And look how beautiful it is. The light pink is... Ultimate Fight did something so that when the color is too light, when the background color is too light, automatically it's detected and the name is written in dark color. So thank you very much. That's amazing. So let's look at the matchup. We have a Dehaka versus Tychus, which should be like slightly Dehaka favored early game and slightly Tychus favored late game. We are expecting, of course, some ground play that might change the game. So we have AG. AG is Wöffe playing Tychus versus TDV. TDV, which will be playing Dehaka. Second matchup, we have Mengsk versus aLIEz. So I would say aLIEz is slightly favored. Here again, I expect a lot of ground play from both players. I mean, sometimes you see POA in the matchups, but other than that, both players will look on some ground fight probably. And then we have Heyrandom playing, I don't even know what they're playing. Heyrandom playing aLIEz versus Shame playing Kerrigan. So aLIEz is slightly favored versus Kerrigan. On the... Oh, let me... Do I have music? I didn't forget the overlay. Yeah. Music. So I think the matchup are pretty much balanced here, more or less. I expect a lot of ground in this. I mean, of course there will be late game Tempest. Of course it can be a POA, but most of the players will choose to go ground. What might be annoying for Dehaka is that if Kerrigans grow, I don't know, if Kerrigan use Broodlord or that kind of stuff, it might be very disturbing because Dehaka will do a pure anti-ground fight. So I'm so maybe Kerrigan will have an incentive if she pushes to go Broodlord or do stuff that are annoying for Dehaka. So Kerrigan trying to fight with Wöffe Tychus. Here a link to disturb the position. And we have the big lizard trying to do stuff, and Wöffe coming up to join the fight. We have already a very strong push, so there will be some pressure early on the bunker here. TDV will do a lot of Stalkers. Fortunately, Stalkers are very good versus Mengsk, and it will give them some tempo. Here we can see Mengsk army without any honor guards or stuff like that, which is usually you use AGs pretty early, but maybe he has a strategy to go POA. Early POA is possible. Opening with the high Archons, very versatile unit that is good versus almost anything that Kerrigan has. And here again, Kerrigan sliding back to try to stack with her Tychus, and the Tychus Kerrigan combo will be good. Impaler opening, we discussed about it last time. It's usually versus Tychus, especially with a cannonball that can snipe it. It's not doing stuff alone. That's why a lot of the Dehaka players choose to push with a lot of tier 1 unit first. But some really like TDV really likes to go straight to Impalers and try to stack at to stack them at the bunker. Nice playing from TDV, and the first Aegis Guard is here. Rank 3 already, doing some pressure on the Stalkers. A nice blink from TDV. And some honor guards are added, dealing some DPS against the hero. We still have nothing from Kerrigan, so she might be taking to some tier 3 tech. And remember that Archons, neither Archon, neither honor guards are good versus any tier 3 tech that Kerrigan has. Broodlord and Ultralisk are both very good and very viable strategy versus Artemis ground, and that might force Artemis to go into the air. But forcing Artemis to go into the air might be a dangerous strategy, because I recall you that Kerrigan will be pushing into a Tychus here, and that Tychus has a pure anti-ground build, so that you don't want that. I mean, he could add Sam versus Dehaka, it's very good too. But right now, the Tychus, played by Wöffe, has a pure anti-ground build, and he doesn't want to fight Tempest at the current stage. Some Warhound are added. Warhound very good, doing mechanical unit. They're already +1. Very good versus mechanical unit. They have this Salva, which is those bonus versus mechanical units. And Dragoon are added to give some versatility because he's anticipating right now. He knows that it will be Broodlord or Ultralisks. Both will be good to push versus the other waves, I would say. So both are viable option and a lot of cannonballs here. And Heyrandom, not really. I'm not sure Heyrandom realized the threat that is here with Kerrigan taking. Nice permastun from the cannonballs. Cannonballs very good to deal damage versus the Haka, and I'm a bit worried for top team already. I'm a bit worried. Look at that bank. Okay. Okay, that surprised me. I'm sorry guys, I don't know why. I'm so surprised here. I mean, I was really expecting Broodlord or Ultra, and I think that would have been very good. Both would have been very good in that game. But here we have Hydra Opener, so it's not that good versus the Archons. I mean, technically it did well here. A lot of pushing power, a lot of DPS. Of course, if you go Broodlord or Ultralisk, you would give something massive to it for the Haka. Even oh shit, that's a lot of cannonball. It's very scary for the Haka. The Haka doesn't have a good control to cannonball. Links, usually you do add links, but he has already a lot. It's not enough. Oh, and the Wrathwalker attack. So early Wrathwalkers, it's usually not something you do versus Manx because you're scared of the Sky Fury. Right now there isn't any Sky Fury, and the Tier 3 wave. Tier 3 wave, of course, the power of the Tier 3 wave is depending on the number of mechanical unit that Alarak has. And here, as Alarak has not a ton of units, it doesn't do a ton of damage at this point. Kerrigan wave. Of course, the army of the Haka is not really made for to fight Hydralists. Is there a problem? The overlay is right? I see Wöffe, SCIPCION, Manx. No, it looks right. It looks right. Okay, already a lot of pressure on the bunkers. 3 Aegis go out, so a lot of pushing power. The Wrathwalkers need to stay alive. Absolutely, but the Wrathwalkers won't be a huge help to fight versus that many Kerrigan units. Wrathwalkers are good to kill very single unit games. Single target that has a lot of HP, like Tychus. Not very good versus Hydra or a lot of swarm or any kind of swarm. Which is funny because Wrathwalkers, Colossi in general, the family of Colossi, are usually designed to deal with crowd control, but not the Wrathwalkers. Wrathwalkers are designed for the exact opposite. Wrathwalkers are designed to kill high HP units, and here the cannonballs. Pretty scary, pretty scary. What is the Haka? Is the Haka ticking? I don't see him adding unit. Maybe he's going for Guardians. I don't know. But more Wrathwalkers are added, and the oh shit! The cannonballs into the Wrathwalkers are really painful. And here, SCIPCION really didn't bother to do any Sky Fury. And when you think about it, if he does the Sky Fury, it would also help a lot versus all those Archons that he's pushing into. But maybe he wants to go straight to POA. Because that would be an option at this point. Let's see how much money does he have. No, he doesn't. He's not saving. He's not saving neither HP, neither minerals. Volumes are that good? Oh, way too loud. Like this, maybe? Cannonballs are really a pain to deal with as the Haka. But the more you push, the more they become kind of weak. Still no Sky Fury from SCIPCION. He really wants to push that bunker, and he will. Actually, the bunker will die here. I don't see it going any differently. Heyrandom doing river. And now the Ultralisks, and that will be very, very, very painful. Even though that Dehaka has already 3 impalers. Okay, Dehaka need to eat that massive unit here. It's Dehaka. No. He ate something else. Jumping back. What an amazing game. What an amazing game. I think top team has really a chance to come back into the game. The cannonballs are really a threat and a problem. But if top team can stack the Wrathwalkers and the Lurkers, they have a chance to come back into the game. Of course, cannonballs are good versus both Wrathwalkers and Lurkers, but it's still possible at bunker to stack them. Look at this, actually. They kind of managed to stack, and the second river is here. Some Muta are added. And now they need to protect the Wrathwalkers with the Stalkers. The Storm are doing an insane amount of damage, and the stack Reavers, Archons, Wrathwalkers, Dragoon. There is a real comeback opportunity here. Of course, the Reavers would be amazing versus that kind of stack. Some Muta are added from Kerrigan, which might be a bit annoying, especially for the Haka. Who is really not. Ooh, that fire breath, dude, that was amazing. All the Hydra in low HP, but now the Mutalisk are actually a pretty interesting move here, and I think it's very good. I mean, the idea is crazy because for the Haka to fight against that, there is almost only one unit that is doable, is the Tyra, and the Tyra is fucking suck versus Tychus in general. Oh, nice blink to try to protect the Wrathwalkers. Will it be enough? I remind you that the Wrathwalkers stack is absolutely key here, and Wöffe doing all he can to kill those, but that's not enough. 3 Wrathwalkers are still alive, and now the Reavers and the Archon doing insane amount of damage on the Mensk army, and the Wrathwalkers are still uncontested. Still no Furies. Furies here would be really interesting, both versus the Archon, versus the Wrathwalkers, also versus the Reavers. A lot of massive units here that the top team tried to stack, and maybe they will manage. The 3 turrets are here come. The Reavers are not really protected at this point, neither are the Wrathwalkers. I'm surprised also that Shame's built back, because Shame catching up to destroy that stack is absolutely key here. If he comes a bit earlier with the Hydra and the Muta, that would be absolutely destructive for the stack that top team managed or tried to manage to build here. A lot of supplicants here, probably to deal with the cannonballs. +3 already on the Wrathwalkers, and Wöffe actually not managing to kill those Wrathwalkers, so that might be a problem if it really. Oh, nice wave, perfect wave on the Muta, almost one-shot them, and now 4 Reavers, that would be so destructive on Kerrigan's army, dude. Reavers, Archons, all very good unit versus Kerrigan army, but I remind you that she's amorphing this transition to Muta, so he might be forced to do more Archons now. Heyrandom really wants to do more Archons, but Archons a bit squishy, not a lot of HP units, so I try to do well against them, even though, oh shit, and he goes for Guardians, of course to deal with the cannonballs, but he cannot ignore the Mutalisk threat. I mean, at this point the Mutalisk threat might become something big, and Dehaka is so weak versus Mutalisk in general, but especially the one of Kerrigan, that I don't know what solution he can find here. Because Syra would be absolutely useless here. You can see nice blink back from EG trying to protect the Wrathwalkers. At all costs, and here a lot of small units are added by EG. Also a lot of Mutalisk try to overwhelm and swarm those Wrathwalkers. A lot of pressure for the team. They really don't manage to do anything, and that poor Haka is totally cornered with here with the Muta. He can only hope that the Muta are dealt with the Planetary Fortress and try to bounce back with other stuff. The Guardians are pretty good versus the Hydra, that's a good news. The Guardians of Dehaka deals AoE on the ground. He's already +2. You can see that the Wrathwalker are positioned as back as he can. He wants them to be protected by the bunker. He wants them to stack. And Vega is added here. Vega is added. A shield from Artanis, shield from Artanis. Will this be the difference? Will this make the difference? No, he has 5 Archons, which is probably not enough to add to deal with the increasing amount of Mutalisks here come. And you can see the positioning of the Mutalisks is very good. The wave are doing the job, but the Reavers are cleaning the ground with a lot of efficiency actually. And the Mutalisk almost died. Actually, they are very close to catch up. Top team is very close to catch up, and the more they catch up, the more, of course, the Haka will not have to deal with the Mutalisk. There is already a lot of Primal Guardian here, and the Vega is here to deal with them, but there is no SAM and not a lot of ground control against the air control, anti-air control against all of those Guardians. Actually, he still managed to deal with them, and the cannonballs are really raping Thief, but raping stuff here. And the POA, fuck the POA, still no fucking Sky Fury, but the POA is extremely annoying to deal with Alarak, even though he has so many Wrathwalkers that are doing decent versus him, and that kind of are uncontested at this point. Maybe Heyrandom would need also a Tempest? Maybe one disintegration for the Pride. It could also be useful to disintegrate the hero. Disintegration deal 500 damage over time. 500 damage. That's a shit ton. And oh shit, that Fire Breath. Amazing Fire Breath. And now the Haka has to deal with the Muta again. And that's really a pain for him. And that might be the move that destroyed the game. The Muta transition is so clever in this game, and it's put the Haka in such a bad position that it might really make the game. It was, I think, one of the best move of the game, and it's working. And the more bottom team is pushing, the more this game will be detrimental for that the Haka, which is still fighting, still building anti-ground units. Of course, what can he do? And Tempest has anticipated to disintegrate here the disintegration on the POA. Maybe he's keeping the other. He wants to disintegrate him twice if he can. Very nice play from the Haka. A lot of Dragoon doing also an awesome work versus the POA. And here, what will the second disintegration be for? I cannot tell you because I didn't see where it went. But the amount of Mutalisk here, dude. What can we do? What can we do? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat what would you do in this situation if you were top team, because I don't see any real way to go out of this. Even though late game Wrathwalkers, but late game Cannonball is also crazy good. And one Ascendant is added here, maybe to deal with the Muta. Oh shit, this is a lot of pressure. Third Purifier Tempest, very nice move. Try to land some good disintegration. Here, 500 damage over 10 seconds, that's a lot of damage. But the PF is already half HP, almost 1/3 HP now. Ooh, the POA died just before he could Yamato, but here is the worst matchup. I almost want to close my eyes because I don't want the Haka to see the Haka rape with all those Muta. Of course, the Planetary Fortress is helping a lot here, but dude, even that was not enough. Even that was fucking not enough. The Muta doing amazing, they are +3. That is very important versus the Planetary Fortress, which has a lot of base armor, and the Planetary Fortress is now at 200 HP. And in direct strike line gauge, 200 HP is almost nothing. It's almost a dead planetary, but it's still here, standing, fighting all what he can, putting the fucking cannons, trying to focus the cannonball, trying to help the Wrathwalkers, trying to do damage. And here the Ascendants here to do an orb and maybe a Mind Blast on the Osteguard, but that was not possible. Here the disintegration on the the Yamato and the Blink Back. using Yamato and then blinking back is really key here. We have 140 HP for that fucking Planetary Fortress, which is a hero, which is a true war hero. And the Haka is coming. The Haka is really pretty tanky, 2k HP at this point. So it really, and Creeper are probably here to deal with the Mutalisks, but Creepers are actually bad versus Mutalisks, but they have this nice ability to fight both air and ground. But this is GG, this will die, and this is GG. Very nice first game, 20 minutes long, so we really could have hoped that top team could have managed to do something. It didn't work, but it really could have. They were a bit cornered with the matchups. Yeah, Muta move was really smart. I love it. Yeah, with the dog it works. Okay, so give me. So I need to talk about the matchup. Yeah, and just change the music. Something that I'm sure that it's not copyrighted. And that's a shame because I fucking love this song. Okay, so let's think about the matchup. So we have Horner, it's Horner, right? Horner played by Shame, which is very known to be Horner, versus Phoenix. So we know that early game Phoenix can defend, but late game Phoenix is clearly disadvantaged. I expect some air fight. Phoenix will probably go straight to scouts, and if not, we will see a lot of early scouts. So it will be an air fight in the middle, in the first lane. Then we'll have Wöffe playing Tychus as usual, versus Random playing Stetman. So here again, advantage for North team. Are the position this time right? Yes. So Tychus is good versus Stetman. Early game Stetman can do well. Late game Stetman has it's very difficult for then. And then we have Forazun versus Stetman, and here I think it's more or less balanced. I mean, maybe advantage for Forazun late game and Stetman early game. I don't know, I'm not sure. And we have a opening from Horner. Okay, Tychus opening with the Blaze. Blaze very good to deal with the early links. Mecha Lurkers are really the bread and butter of the matchup. Oh shit! Are really the bread and butter of the matchups, and a lot of Stalkers opening from EG will fight. This is SCIPCION. Nice Stalker blinks. SCIPCION, I think he doesn't like the mecha links, if I'm not mistaken. And here I'm not sure how it will go because mecha links are important versus Statman, especially versus Stalkers. And here we have the scout opening, which I think is the most standard way to play it. We have the detection already and the wraith, so Phoenix will put some early pressure. It will be also very annoying for Wöffe to deal with the air leak. I mean, to be honest, the first lane will be an air fight, and both builds on the second lane won't like an air leak, which means that here it's very important for the pushing commanders, especially one, because if Wöffe have to deal with a mass scout leak, it will be extremely annoying for him. So yeah, I would encourage people to not gas too much and make sure that they will be pushing, especially if bottom team managed to push here. Very nice micro from Shame who managed to keep his Viking behind, and that will be extremely good. I mean extremely good. It will be useful for Tychus because those Vikings can get rid of Gary, and that will be very useful for Wöffe. And here Tychus will deal with the leaks, and now the Viking will snipe Gary, and that's pretty cool. We have the detection that is put for shame, especially to help the Tychus. You can see that it's EG, I think, you know, Heyrandom, microing the mecha lurkers like crazy. And now it's the bottom team which is defending, and here I expect some transition to something that can be more annoying for Heyrandom here. A lot of pressure on the bunker already. Bunker is down already, dude! I said Jude all the time when I cast, it's funny. Jude! I didn't even know that. I'm so much more aware of all my language tics. I'm not sure how to call them since I'm casting. I really talk differently than I didn't even know that I was stuttering when I was trying to speak fast, and now that I was saying Jude all the time. It's funny. But I guess knowing that makes me a better orator, talker, because now I'm aware of my. Oh shit, super Gary already. So bottom team managed to, I wasn't talking about the game, bottom team managed to actually stack again and really pushing again, and here we have CGO having super Gary already. Super Gary, very very good versus Forazon. I mean, the Stalkers can't get rid of it, but especially with a lot of links, but he doesn't like links. So I think they are already, yeah. Oops. Okay. I made a print screen. Okay. Oh, nice offensive blink. So they really tried to get the bunker, but it was not working. And now, Shame doing that strat again. 2 detection to help attack us. It also gives some kind of buff or debuff. No buff, I think. I think it gives +3 attack damage, which is not a lot for Horner unit, which mostly a shit ton of damage, but it's still something. And of course, it can also help for the detection. Here we have a Gem Sirius, which will help versus Gary. It will help versus the leaks, and also it will provide detection with the turrets. I mean, technically it's not tier 2, so it's not really for that. And Lurkers of Heyrandom trying to focus fire the blaze. Very very good. Very very nice work for him. We have the observer from TDV observing everything, every single target, and here we have the macro of the mecha lurkers who can put some heavy pressure on the bunker, I remind you. And here the Void Ray production is launched, and Void Rays are very good at dealing with Gary, especially when they are spread up like this, and the pressure from bottom team on the bunker is pretty good. We have an offensive blink from Wöffe, from EG. We'll try to put some pressure, but here there's a lot of Demo Viking trying to do the work and trying to stack. And I recall you that Vikings are not only very good versus Phoenix Scouts, but also will help to clean Gary. But here the hole is here. The hole. Oh shit! That was a nice hole. That was actually a nice hole. I was scared. At first I was like, dude, there's not that much AoE. But the Phoenix ultimate, and here he just instantly used all of his ability on the hole. That was very very good coordination. Some links are added from Heyrandom. I think it's a very good way. It's the way you should play it versus Tychus. You should have at least some links. It's very difficult for Tychus to deal with it. He needs Blaze are only okayish versus them. And if there's too many, he needs the Nux. And now Heyrandompeople doing a really nice job against the Tychus unit. The Sirius is surviving, but there's a lot more and more Void Rays. It's a very very nice positioning. I really like it. It makes them much less vulnerable to the orb, and they actually manage to stack. Actually, they're still pushing, but here the mecha lurkers from SCIPCION survived, which is really annoying. Even though you could argue that this Phoenix doesn't have much on the ground. Mechalokers are on Elora, and I think this is a mistake because Mechalokers really need those ego energy, otherwise they do no damage at all. I mean, the regular attack of the Mechalokers do almost nothing. You really want that ability. Spike, and here TDV cannot really deal with that Horner at this point, and the vacuum managed to stack, and this will be very, very, very annoying for Heyrandom, who really wants that Gary to recycle stuff. A lot of Mecha Hydra are added to help with the anti-air. They're not that good versus attackers, even though they are okay-ish at best, but they give him the versatility and also some kind of protection, because he knows that the Horner might be at any time pushing into him with BCs or stuff like this, and he's kind of scared of that, any kind of leak of Horner. So I think some kind of Hydra gives him some insurance because of this, and we can see that EG is doing an incredible job with his setman, really raping that SCIPCION, and that shouldn't be the case because the matchup is actually much more balanced than this. I would blame it on the fact that SCIPCION has no links, and whereas it's very important in the matchup. But I think he really don't like links. I almost never see him doing links for some reason. And here blinking back of Shame, very nice. He lands for some reason. He lands. Oh, actually very nice. Actually, he let the Tychus unit kill the unit in the air while he was dealing with the ground. That's a very nice play for Shame. At first I was like, dude, what he's doing? But it works. And here Nux is called here to deal with the Hydra and also the links. Very nice. But look at those spikes. Constant. Oh shit, dude. I don't want to be Tychus unit here, but I have to admit that Wöffe managed to survive. And now bottom team top team is stacking again. SCIPCION never. I never see him like use his roach away before using the charging protocol. So he always die with some HP here, with a lot of energy. I recall you that when you're using that shit, you can always roach away and then charge. Use the charging protocol. You have enough energy to do both. And now, Shame, sorry. Almost dying out of enthusiasm here. We have the second Conservator there just before the protection layer. Conservator brings 25 damage reduction, which is huge, and the more the late game come, the more I'm worried for Heyrandom, because early game Statman can do great versus Tychus, but the more the game advances, the more it becomes almost impossible for Statman, at least in my opinion. Tell me if you disagree. But here I'm kind of worried. Some DTs are added, so DTs are very useful both to deal with the leaks of Tychus, but also to deal with the Hydra, which can be a threat here. So the idea is that you blink the DT into the Hydra, and of course here into the Tychus units. Here again CGO not using his energy. Please roach away. You can roach away and charge protocol. There's no problem with that. You will die full energy as usual. Oh shit, dude. And a lot of scouts added here. The damage reduction from the orb very well placed, just at the limit. You can see here still true because it's pretty short, but here the more the game advances, as I explained before, the more the game advances, the more the matchup will be in favor of the top team, and I'm kind of more and more worried about the top team. Nice blink from Shame, which will go up to avoid and then go down and rape the Hydra. Demo Viking deal kind of an AoE on the ground. I'm not sure if it's an AoE, but I think it's a piercing stuff, so basically the unit that are behind other unit get hits too, which is almost like an AoE, and that makes them very good versus Hydra. And now Shame pushing into that Forazun will be absolutely deadly, and now I don't know how bottom team can come back. We have the Mecha Ultralisk, very good versus Stalkers that are added, some Mecha Ultralisk to deal with the air, and now this Infestor will die full energy as usual. And now I'm not sure how bottom team can come back, because as I explained before, the orbs are very destructive. The more you're late game, the more any stack of air become kind of bad and difficult to manage against AoE. And yeah, I'm not sure how bottom team can come back. That poor Heyrandom will have to deal with a lot of leaks, and he knows also that the threat of the BC transition might come at any time. Let's look at the APM, because it's one of the most important information that the viewer should have about the game. So we have, what the fuck, Heyrandom, what the fuck. 700 APM. That's some rapid fire thing. So why does Heyrandom have 700 APM? That's a question for you guys. How can you do that many? The answer is very simple. when you use mecha lockers, you use rapid fire to deal a lot of damage. And oh shit, they managed to push again. Wow, what the fuck, dude? That Farazan is doing awesome versus SCIPCION. He's doing really awesome, and he's kind of carrying the game. We can see here that, yeah, EG is really carrying that game and trying to bring the commander back. So yeah, the reason why he did so many APM is that he's using rapid fire with the mecha lockers, and rapid fire is key to use it against Tychus. And yeah, it's kind of artificially look at all the APM will go up when he will use the rapid fire. Yeah, and here it doesn't. Yeah, here. You see? And how good is it? So if you haven't set up rapid fire for the beginners, let me explain you. It's very simple. So imagine you need rapid fire on the key W here. The most simple way to do it, if you want to do it seriously, use look on the internet how you do it to put several hotkey. But if you want to simply go to hotkey, global, unit management, and here choose ability. Just add the W key here, and it will work. You will just be able to hold the key and it will like rapid fire it, and it is very useful for a lot of things, especially for the Ravagers, for the Lips, and for the Mecha Lockers, I would say. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but please do it. If you're a beginner, do it, it's very useful. Top team is managing to push again, and yeah, as I explained, the more the game goes late, the more I'm worried for the bottom team. But the only, oh shit, that blink from the, oh he could have killed more Hydra on the ground before doing stuff here. But those Demo Viking are absolutely destructive for the bottom team. They deal with especially the Setman. The Setman doesn't like Honor. But yeah, the only reason the bottom team is still in this game is because of the awesome job that this Kerrigan, this Farazan is doing. EG is doing an awesome job here, and SCIPCION more debatable, but now the push is too strong. They will not be able to really defend this. I don't see them really coming back, and I'm afraid of a transition from Horner that will make things even harder. Some Reapers are added. Reapers will add some buff to the air units, so they're very good for that. They're also good for tanking. I recall you that the scouts do bonus versus armored on the air and light on the ground. So as this is light, they act as a tank unit against the scouts. Very nice macro from Shame. Nice micro. Dude, this Farazan is EG is doing an excellent job. EG is doing great. Look at this. Every time top team push, every time SCIPCION gets raped by EG, and bottom team start to push again. I mean, it's all in the third lane. The only reason that bottom team is not dead right now is because of AG raping SCIPCION. And it might backfire, but as I explained, the top team is so advantaged in the late game matchup that I think bottom team needs to win in the next 5 minutes, otherwise it would be really complicated for him. It's very dark in here. More Ultra. You can see he used a Speed Aura for the Ultra to do the damage, and then he switched to Juice Aura probably, with the help of Nux. It's almost impossible for Setman. Merde! Ah putain, j'ai oublié. Almost forgot to cancel my plan for tonight. Oh, fuck. Okay. This music makes every fight epic. I really love it. Hey, hello Destiny. I thought I could zoom more, de-zoom more, but I cannot. Okay. We should be able to zoom a bit more. Yeah, some adepts are added because at some points, you know, you become too vulnerable to the AoE. Having a air units are very strong in this game, and usually in the late game, air units are the thing that make team wins. Not always true, of course, but often. But air unit has a big weakness in that game is that they tend to stack a lot on each other. I mean, they can occupy the same position, which makes them very. Oh shit! That blink. Oh no. Okay. Oh my god. Oh no. Yeah, which make air unit more vulnerable to AoE. Oh shit! That hole with the lurkers, almost. I mean, the idea was it could have been much stronger. Here they were a bit unlucky, I think, bottom team. The idea was exceptional, and it was really hard to place as a whole because as sub team is pushing, the Heyrandom lose already a bit of stalkers against the leaks, so he cannot be as powerful and do as many concentrated spike as he would like against the Tychus. But the idea was incredibly good, I think, and the whole was probably the best he could do here. And it could have been stronger, but at this point, the Tychus units are very strong. I mean, Tychus is a late game beast. Look at how much HP those things have. I mean, look at the 1k and a half HP. I mean, how many would you need? How many spike would you need to kill that? It's crazy. And now I'm blink, go on the ground. Some Wraith are added to be annoying. And you know what's really annoying when you're fighting Wraith as Setman? Is that those assholes here, the Demo Viking, are fucking sniping any kind of detection. So it forces Setman to scan. And Setman, even if he has Super Garry, even if he has Overseers, they will all die to the Viking. So whatever happens, he will need to scan. And scanning one time per round is extremely expensive. Do you know how much it costs in terms of gas? Scanning one time per round, it's exactly what one gas brings you. If you need to scan once per wave, it's exactly like if you have one less gas per one less gas. If you have to scan once per wave, it's exactly as if you had one less gas. Or you need to allocate one gas just to scan, and that's a lot of money in the long term, especially for only 2 fucking Wraith. 3 fucking Wraith. He doesn't even do the detection because he knows that they will get sniped instantly by the Vikings. But the Hydra here are doing great. They are kind of dealing with the Demo Viking. Of course, it's less firepower against Tychus, but what choice do you have? There is a second place here dealing with the Hydra. And dude, I don't know how we can. I don't know. More some tanking are added by CGO with Overseers. Okay, here I'm really worried. Maybe the tier 3 Phoenix will do something with the Cloak. Cloak is extremely good versus beginners, much less versus experimented players because they will scan if needed, but you can still pull up some nice stuff usually with a nice cloak, but she doesn't want to cloak. Ah, nice, the cloak. Yeah, and oh là là, quelle merde, franchement quelle merde. Oh shit, that Demo Viking are doing an amazing job here. Here Shame just kind of woke up I think, because in the tournament he did some weird build before, and we were all wondering what was happening to Shame. It used to be our best players. I mean, Shame kind of won all the tournaments. Until now, he was always first position. It's probably one of the best players in Direct Strike. He's used to win houses. Some Banes are added now to deal with the ground. The only thing I'm scared, and that might be the chance of bottom team to come back, is that if CGO underestimate the air threat of Forazun, and kind of because he's investing a lot in Banes and Ultralisks, so he can, because he's pushing, and he's pushing into actually into air. So that may be the only reason why top team could come back into that game, but I'm not sure it will happen here. But I saw only one hole since the start of the game, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was really trying to wait a good opportunity. Here I'm really worried the Banes might do a lot of damage on the Nexus and the Tacus is still alive. It might be the game. It might be the game. Look at the Banes. Mecha Ultra also very good at Nexus. The Cloak will try to save and they didn't manage. Very well played. Very, very well played. Is it right? So we have Shame, Rainer, Shame. No, it's wrong. The Commentator have wrong. Shame. What the fuck? Ah, Team 2. Team 2 is ah, fuck, dude, fuck. Oh, fuck, dude. Okay, let me focus. Shame is Rainer. Rainer Takis Kerrigan. So let me first check that the. Sorry. Let me first check that the. So we have Shame on the left. So I need to invert again. Shame have to be. No. Attends. L'équipe 1. C'est l'équipe du bas. So. Ah putain, fait chier quoi. Bon, Rainer, Takis, Kerrigan. So SCIPCION is playing Kerrigan, that's right? Yeah. And the other team is Alarak Statman DAK. Alarak Statman DAK. Et Team 2 c'est Team 1. Team 2 c'est Team 1 et c'est IJ. Team 2. Ah ouais, ok. Voilà. Putain, merde quoi. Grosse merde quoi. It's so hard to do it alone. Like this maybe? Like this? Is it right? DME Kerrigan? No, it's still wrong. But I don't have DME Kerrigan. I have DME Haka. I guarantee you I did it right in my it's maybe with another overlay. Yeah, like this with the Protoss overlay it works. Okay, so let's analyze a bit the matchup. So we have Shame playing Rainer versus Heyrandompeople playing aLIEz, but why is it reversed? Dude, we really need to be player 1 on the left, on the right. Shame only play, Wöffe only play Tigers. A lot of pressure on the bunker already. Putain, fait chier quoi. So I need to reverse the team, right? I have the impression I'm only reversing the team. But as I'm not sure it's really... Allez, Protoss. Okay, here I reversed. Has it reversed? I'm not even sure. Shame on the right, on the left. No, it hasn't reversed. Dude, I guarantee you that sometimes I'm changing stuff and it... Okay, here it was reversed. So the Zerg overlay works. Okay. Okay. I think it's right. So we have again that cursed matchup of Wöffe Tychus versus Statman. That will be difficult for Statman, and we have Dmi playing Dehaka. A lot of big jump already, trying to save the bunker with the big jump. So he will be playing versus Kerrigan Muda, so he's going straight for Tyra, probably. But the early portion of the meta will be like detrimental, and I think here the bunker will die. Mothership first versus Rainer. Why? Maybe to also to defend versus EG. It's probably nice. Maybe to come back to versus Tychus. I mean Wöffe Tychus. It might be nice. But of course, the weapon of choice of the matchup, aLIEz versus Rainer, is the Ascendant. But Ascendant are less good. Maybe to be sure that you can push back into your wave, the Mothership might be more safe. Okay, let's see how it goes. Here Wöffe will lack the first line of links, so it will not be able to do much. I mean, putain, EG. Sorry, I'm still disturbed by all the stressful thing that I had to do. What made it much more difficult is that I'm pretty sure that sometimes I change stuff and it doesn't change in the overlay, so I'm changing it again, but it's because the overlay is not updating stuff for some reason. So I'm changing it again and then it becomes wrong. Yeah, it was confusing. You saw it. I did my best, sorry. Okay, Tyra will not do a lot earlier, but the Mothership will be able to deal with, but here we really need the Ascendant, right? I mean, to deal with the Muta, to deal with the Rainer. Okay, nice wave, tier 3 wave. Vikings are here. And now he's pushing, so it will be much more difficult. And oh yeah, actually he's pushing into Tychus with that. And to push into Tychus with that would be annoying, but we already have a SAM. And this SAM will probably upgrade his grenades just to deal with the Mothership leaks or the potential Mothership leak that can appear here. I'm really waiting for the Ascendant. Okay, only one Tyra, this won't be enough. You probably need at least 2 or 3 Tyra to live with that. But yeah, it needs time. You lose kind of the tempo. What is very important is like to gain the aggro with Dehaka. So you need to eat a Muta and have your Muta in front so that all the Muta will focus on Dehaka. Here I'm really surprised there is still no Ascendant, because it would be also awesome also to deal with the leak. And to kill the Marines and the Viking. Ascendant are really good. Please do one. Or 2. Here Statman will have to deal with the leaks of Rainer, which is a bit annoying, especially the Banshees, because he doesn't want to do anti-air here. I mean, EG doesn't want to do anti-air, so he really hopes that aLIEz will fix it and do the Ascendants. Here he tried to do some stuff, but it's really not working, and the enemy has to deal with a lot of leaks. Here the Hydra formation is nice, maybe to deal with the leaks of Tychus. I mean, here Demi is a bit cornered because he doesn't want to deal with leaks, but Hydra are not very good versus Muta. At least he needs to aggro them, because if the Muta attack the Hydra are useless. But if the Hydra stay behind and the Muta are targeting either the Tyra, either the Dehaka. Oh shit! No anti-air attack on the fucking aLIEz. Here an Ascendant would be awesome. No? Heyrandom thinks differently. He's saving for another one or what? I don't see him adding units. Yes, he's saving for another one. But forcing Rainer into doing mass Vikings might be okay. Oh shit, Wöffe is raping that man. Because if you force Rainer to do mass Viking, the mass Viking won't do much versus that build, so that's the good point of going Mothership. But here, too many mutas. And the Hydra are not doing great versus Muta, so... Second Mothership. But Ascendant are much better to deal with the Hydra than Mothership. No, to Muta. I mean, Ascendant are much more useful to deal with the Brutalisk than Mothership. So it would be much better versus the Leaks also, not only versus his way. Okay, on the bunker already, dude. The Tychus almost timed out, dude. Almost timed out. No, 3-0. We waited much longer than the game was. GG's, very well played.